In Jean-Paul Sartre's 1944 play No Exit, three characters are locked in a nice hotel room. The only amenity the room is missing is a mirror. This hotel room is Sartre's concept of hell, and as the play goes on, the characters' lives and legacies slowly fade from them in front of their very eyes. They then turn to each other, desperate for another person in the room to validate them as they were in life. Sartre's most famous quote, "Hell is other people," originates from this story. As long as we base our identities solely on how others perceive us, we will always be tortured. Ghost Town is, in many ways, a version of No Exit with some of the cynicism wiped away. We can't form our whole identity based on what others think of us, but by understanding each other, maybe we can come to understand ourselves just a little bit better. Ghost Town drops the player in a town that is slowly being swallowed by the sands of time. The player must then talk to each of the four characters, Jackman, Jolie, Steiner, and Sadie, and learn both what they meant to each other and what they mean to themselves. Each has something rooting them to the town, and the player's goal is to find out what this is and help them let it go so that they can pass on. Video games, and especially visual novels, are often a vector for our own fantasies. This goes hand in hand with the argument over whether or not games have to be fun. We wanted to explore both of these ideas. The player has nothing to gain by helping these ghosts, and the story is interesting instead of viscerally satisfying. Ghost Town is an experiment in making a story that is highly interactive while still being largely out of the player's control. The past can't be changed in Ghost Town. All that's left to do is to come to terms with it. Each character has the potential for 3 conversations. The player can have 4 conversations a day, with time running out after a week has passed. In order to unlock deeper levels of conversation, however, the player has to talk to the others around town and learn key pieces of information that the characters won't tell them about themselves. The player first understands the character through the lens of someone they loved, then someone they were forced to love, and finally learns the thing that is tying them to the town and helping them let it go. Ghost Town is an experiment in making a narrative that is interesting to interact with, not because the player is empowered or lives out a fantasy. The player is instead asked simply to empathize and try to understand the people they talk to, and we think that's an experience worth exploring.